Hi, and welcome to the Skincarma Pod. I'm Carmine, the creator and voice of the Skincarma blog. With more than 25 years in beauty as a brand builder, copywriter, and skincare junkie, I'm putting my product wisdom and expertise to work demystifying skincare. Today on the Skincarma Pod, I'm excited to welcome Ian Michael Crumm, aesthetician, skinfluencer, and full-on SPF crusader. If you're even remotely into skincare and your skin health, there's a good chance that Ian has popped up in your social feeds with his healthy, glowing skin, effervescent spirit, sunscreen in hand. He's become a trusted voice by bridging the gap between clinical expertise and everyday skincare. His content is smart, approachable, refreshingly honest, breaking down ingredients, debunking myths, and reminding us that taking care of our skin is both science and self care, with SPF at the heart of your routine. He has his own podcast, Beauty Curious, which he leads with his co host, board certified dermatologist, Dr. Elise Love. I'm a huge fan. As a judge in the Beauty Matter Next Awards and member of the nominating committee for the 2025 CEW Beauty Awards, he's on the front lines of product innovation. And just last month, Ian became the face of the Melanoma Research Foundation's Get Naked campaign, harnessing his platform to spread awareness around the importance of daily sun safety, regular skin checks, and early skin cancer detection. I'm so excited to connect with him today about skin health, product trends, his genuine SPF advocacy, and maybe even what's lining the shelves of his own medicine cabinet. After all, he's an expert in glow. Let's do this. Let's talk to Ian. Ian, hi.
Hi, good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning. Welcome to the Skin Karma Pod. I'm super excited to have you on. I've been wanting to have you on since I started. I don't think you know that,
Oh,
but yeah.
I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Carmine. We've been
Yeah,
judging buddies now, I think, for 3 years.
for 3 years in the Beauty Matter Next Awards. Oh my God, I'm so glad that's over. I mean, it's fun, but it's like, it's daunting.
Every year there's more, and there's more to read, more to
Yes.
process, more to
I
put
think
on
there
your
were
hands,
215
test.
products at least that I had to review this year. It was crazy, but again, like you get insights into product innovation and like what brands are thinking, and of course some brands aren't thinking.
I did have a few submissions. I'm like, I don't think they filled the form out. It looks blank, but
Totally,
I was
totally.
like,
It's like, am I supposed to fill this out for you? I don't understand what I'm
yeah,
doing. But anyway,
yeah.
all right, let's get started. I want to
Let's do
start at the
it.
top, like, and hear like where you began. Like talk to me about where you grew up and what sparked your passion for skincare and honestly specifically taking care of your skin. Like you talk about skin health more than anybody I know. So like
Oh,
where did this all begin?
I didn't realize. Wow, I'm glad that that's your perception that like in skin health. So, uh, I've loved beauty since I was little.
Hmm.
My mom and grandma are both quite fabulous. My mom, she has like long nails ever since I was little. She's done like these custom designs. She, gets her hair dyed, and so from a young age I was exposed to that. And my mom would like let me go to the nail salon with her or get a pedicure, or she let me experiment with my hair color. And then in high school, I never had like bad acne, but I had like a little bit of acne. And then I had some white bumps around my eye, and I was like, didn't know what it was at the time. Now I know that they were milia, and I went to the
Mm.
derm. They removed them, and then because I had just like a bit of acne, they had me go to the aesthetics like wing of the practice, and I had a very mild chemical professional peel. And then that kind of was that added gateway. For a bit there, I thought, oh, maybe I want to be a derm, maybe I want to be a plastic. After having a conversation with my great aunt, I realized that I don't think, becoming a doctor was the space for me in my
Hmm.
interests, but I was still very much into skin and would read about it, and, was always just like using a bunch of different beauty products, skincare, hair care, whatnot, since I was little. And I started reading New Beauty magazine when I was in high school. So that was just like an early interest, definitely like supported by my mother. And then I started blogging technically before college, but basically I moved to Philadelphia to go to college, and I started blogging, um, more so fashion blogging. I've always loved fashion too. So I
Mm-hmm.
was like basically style blogging in 2012. And over the years, I would still, I've always loved beauty, and I would do different treatments, and I'd started posting more about beauty, or maybe when I'd go try a beauty treatment, a facial, or the first time I ever had neuromodulator, I shared it on social media. So I don't know, I just kind of always loved talking about what I was doing, and never really liked some of the like shame sometimes that people put around certain treatments. Like I tried neuromodulator at a younger age, not like super young, but I tried it, and I'm like, I'm just gonna post about it. Like I don't care. So
Mm-hmm.
over the years, yeah, I just kind of kept exploring more. And as a creator, I would post more and more beauty. So my page went from being this like lifestyle fashion page to like more and more beauty, talking about skin. And then I was getting, various questions as you do online, like people wanting
Yeah.
advice, feedback. And I think I've always been decently well read, but I hit this point where I was like, oh, I hope I'm giving the right information. I hope I'm
Mm.
saying the right thing to people. I don't know. And that's really what sparked me being like, okay, let me like go through the aesthetics path and just kind of have like that confidence in a sense of, well, if someone's asking me these questions, I can actually answer in a valid way. So yeah, I mean, that's the kind of like the abbreviated version, but I've been into beauty since I was, I mean, 5, 6, I don't know, whatever age, like since I can remember, just into that and the aesthetic space. And then in terms of skin health, beauty's great. And like, who doesn't want to look, have the glowy skin or
Yeah.
nicely styled hair, or whatever, beauty standard you're kind of striving for. But I like to say, like beauty starts with your health. And
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of like this intersection of, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not trying to be a doctor, but I do think like it's important for people to think of their health first before like, oh, I need poreless skin, or like all these kind of like crazy beauty
Oh God.
standards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's just has over the last 5 years has just become more and more built into like what I discuss online. And the sun safety piece, I'm like a big advocate for people being sun safe. So yeah, that's the fast boilerplate.
So would you sum up? I read your article, your blog article on in the Get Naked campaign, and you
Oh,
said that healthy skin starts with self-awareness, daily sun safety practices, and regular skin exams. Like, would you say that sums up your philosophy?
yeah, yeah, basically, it's like being aware of your body. And again, I'm not a derm, but just like I'm try
Yeah.
to encourage people to like think beyond like, oh, I don't want a wrinkle. But then there's, such a natural pairing of sun safety and the aesthetic beauty side too. I mean, people kind of debate the numbers, but they go between 80 and 90% of skin aging, due to extrinsic factors, mostly UV
Yeah.
damage. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, regardless if you're talking to someone about cancer prevention, or just like having nice skin, it's like the first step is sun safety.
Yeah. I quote the 90%. 90% of the visible changes to the skin is rooted in photo damage
Yeah,
from the Skin Cancer Foundation. And, of course, I'm sure this happens with you all the time. Like, friends and family are constantly asking me, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? I'm like, well, first of all, you need to start wearing sunscreen, because
I know.
they usually don't. And, I think I told you a couple of weeks ago that I'm planning to move back to LA in the fall. And I was out there, trying to catch the vibe and figure out where I wanted to be again this time around.
Yeah.
And I was walking around a lot with my best friend out there, and I couldn't believe how red my skin got. Because I
Mm,
was like all of a sudden in like much more intense sun than we have in New York, at least,
mm,
the last few months.
sure.
And it was like, oh my God, like, and I'm wearing sunscreen, and like religiously, and I couldn't believe the effect it had on me. And then I'm thinking, and I'm strategizing already, like I'm gonna need to carry, like I'm gonna need to carry eye SPF and facial SPF with me all the time in my bag. And I have my favorite eye stick in my bag now, but it just like hit me so hard, like
I I
it's
think
fast.
it is, and it's the whole thing with sunscreen too, like reminding people reapplication is so important. Like
Yeah,
higher SPF numbers kind of give people false confidence of like, oh, I'm
yeah,
wearing 100. They think they're protected all day.
totally.
Um, and there's so many intricacies. So it's like, I say sun safety doesn't stop at sunscreen, it starts at sunscreen. So there's
Yeah.
other ways to, like I, this was about a month ago, I had to take an antibiotic and I was wearing sunscreen and all the things. And I knew it was, you can get photosensitized, but it caught up on me and I didn't get
Mm.
burnt. But when I got home after being in Central Park, I was like, oh, shoot, like, I'm like Mr. SPF, and I'm like, I think I look a little red right now, and I like had all this sunscreen on, and it was because my skin was more sensitized from the antibiotic, and there's just so many factors there. But you can be sun safe beyond sunscreen, go in the shade, wear UPF
Yeah.
clothing, you know, use an umbrella,
Yeah. I mean, you never see me without a cap on, ever.
yeah, wear a
Except in
hat,
my
sunglasses.
DMV picture.
But
You alluded earlier to, I don't know if you said glass skin or glowing skin, like, and it just reminds me, like, the whole concept of glass skin kind of cracks me up because I think just like with anything, people think that there's a cheat, for that.
mm,
And, it kills me when products come out, like serums come out and they're called glass skin, whatever. And it's like, come on. Like, it's
yeah,
unattainable if you're not really taking care of your skin, and you're not going to achieve it with one serum. Like that just cracks me up. Like, so what would you say, of course sunscreen, but what would you say are your essentials for healthy glowing skin, let alone glass skin?
sure. No, I get that question a lot, and
Mm,
I feel like um, people will be like, oh, it's almost like this perception that it's like one thing. They'll be like, oh, like what are you using? And it's like they're like looking for that one product, that like
yeah.
glass skin product or,
Yeah.
or whatever that's gonna basically like solve all the issues they have in their head. And I always like to say, I'm like, what am I not doing? Because it's like a full maintenance routine over here. So obviously, like great, skincare. I use antioxidants during the day, sunscreen. I'm big on just like a lot of hydration. I think a lot of times
Oh
people
yeah.
overrec their barriers and they're like doing too many, acids or whatnot, where they're just kind of doing more damage than good and also sensitizing their skin. And then if they're not wearing sunscreen, it's kind of like a weird vicious cycle and they don't even realize that they've entered that.
Yeah.
So anytime I'm like consulting with someone, I definitely just like to start them, make sure they're cleansing their face twice a day, sunscreen, obviously, reapplying antioxidants during the day.
Hmm.
And then I'm like just concerned that they're getting adequate hydration until their skin feels like rebalanced if it's out of whack. And then, I mean, I personally like to layer in like a chemical exfoliant here and there. Um, I mean, the reality is, and as we mentioned earlier, like I do test products and I'm
Yeah.
swatching and things quite a bit. So I try to keep my routine pretty standard, but then I have to like, toss in things here and there if I'm testing them. So in terms of like retinoids, love them, but I kind of actually like really don't use it often because I'm also switching in things I'm testing. And then
Yeah.
I like to do in-office treatments, whether it's like testing
Mm.
a new laser. I did Clear and Brilliant a few months ago. I've done Soft Wave for some skin tightening. So yeah, I kind of like to dabble and test a lot of things. But if anyone's just like, if it's talking specifically skincare, I'm always like, you need your, you know, hydration during the day, sunscreen, antioxidants, and at night use like your treatment serum, moisturizer. That could include a retinol if you want. It doesn't have to, but
Yeah.
I try not to overcomplicate it.
Yeah. That's great advice. So let's shift to your advocacy, for sun safety and skincare cancer awareness. Like first, like what made this issue so personally important? Like I understand, about your upbringing and your connection with mom and beauty and all of that, but like that's a big shift. And I'm sure when you were growing up like me, sun safety wasn't that big of a focus. So, but it is for you now.
Yeah, it's definitely, especially the last few years, it's become way bigger for me in
Yeah.
general, and I think the public, fingers crossed, it's becoming more of a it's becoming more of a topic. But in terms of the advocacy, I've definitely been aware of like being sun safe from a young age. My grandma is a melanoma survivor, so when I
Hmm.
was younger, she has a scar on her leg from like it's a like from her knee into her inner thigh on her right leg. So like she has a large surgery scar, and I asked her
Mm.
about it when I was younger at the pool, and so she told me about skin cancer melanoma. I mean, I was probably like 8 or around that age, somewhere in there,
Yeah.
maybe younger. And so when I was younger, I was aware and pretty regular with wearing sunscreen. I mean, I've definitely gotten way better in as I've aged, but I was still doing that when I was younger. And then two in high school, just reading new beauty and kind of like reading about beauty and getting a tidbit here and there. I was still like essentially sun safe high school into college, etc. Obviously, I've had my fair share of burns too. Like, wasn't always the best at reapplying. It's not like I've
Yeah.
been like perfectly sun safe my whole life, but it's been something that I've been aware of. And then going through the aesthetics program and just kind of like leaning more into skin. I mean, as I said, I've always loved beauty, but I just kind of also had an urge to have like a bit of a more like purpose around it. I think
Mm.
beauty is amazing, but it can be shallow at times. It can be very face value, and I also don't like it's. I mean, there's been a shift here too, but just thinking also about like female beauty standards and how certain things before have been all about, like crow's feet or, just kind of like negative intentions around beauty, not specifically sun safety, but, just kind of framing things as something that needs to be fixed instead of something
Yeah.
that someone might just want to enhance. So when I, started really leaning into skin and talking about skincare, especially online, I've always wanted to do it in a way that was just more empowering and not trying to make someone feel bad. It's like, okay, if someone comes to me and they have some wrinkles on their face, but they're happy with them, like I'm not going to sit here and tell them, oh, like go get go get neuromodulator and like do all these products. Like if they're happy with the wrinkles on their face, like I'm not going to, sit here and like beat them up or something. So
Yeah.
um, the whole like sun safety thing kind of just naturally evolved over the years too. Of okay, this gives a bit of a deeper meaning behind messaging too, and it's more impactful. It relates to beauty, as we were saying, the 80 to 90%, and damage to your skin and being caused by the sun and whatnot, pigmentation, wrinkles, collagen loss. So if someone is viewing it from an aesthetic age concern of their skin, um, great, that covers that. But then also just the overall health, that's the main reason. So I just kind of like kept talking about it because I didn't want to only kind of speak to aesthetic in terms of just like
Right.
something pretty.
Right.
I love pretty things, but I wanted there to
Yeah.
be just a little bit more meat behind any messaging that I put out. So I also think there's kind of like a dichotomy there. It's like talking about talking about skin cancer is not something sexy. It's not something people want to necessarily bring up. Uh, there's a lot of anxiety around the health sector. People like not wanting to go to the doctor or feeling ashamed. Like not even just about dermatology, just in general, skipping doctor's appointments, not getting certain blood work, whatnot. There's people can really kind of build anxieties around that. So with the whole sun safety thing, my whole approach is to hopefully empower people to feel like, oh, it's not a big issue. Like it's easy to go get your skin examined. It's easy to be sun safe every day. And I like to say, make sun safety sexy. It's like, how can you frame it in a way that's not scary or not like, oh, like let's just shove it into, say, like cancer prevention in someone's face. It's like, oh, let's like do this in a fun, lighthearted way, and then it's addressing cancer too. And I think that's just a different positioning than like a doctor would take, obviously, because they're a medical doctor. So I kind of view myself in this like middle ground between like doctors, the public, and talking about sun safety and trying to be like a funnel that's like the more fun. I'm the fun funnel, like,
Right.
over here, like everyone like slather like sunscreen over their bodies, be sexy and like skin
Oh,
health, and then being like, and now go to your derm and like get that skin checked. Like I
right.
can't check it. I'm not credentialed to actually examine your skin, but obviously if I see something suspicious, I'm gonna like flag it and like suggest someone to get it checked from like a medical professional. But uh yeah.
If you see something, say something.
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
approach, right?
totally,
But
totally.
so this is like the perfect segue to the Get Naked campaign. So, for the audience, you're the official spokesperson for the 2025 Get Naked campaign with the Melanoma Research Foundation. So, congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's super exciting. Like, it's everywhere. I see it everywhere, and it's just like amazing. It's so amazing. But like, share what the mission of the campaign is, what your role is, and in spreading the message.
Sure. So yeah, I started working with the Melanoma Research Foundation, and their annual campaign is called #GetNaked. The whole purpose is to encourage people to go get naked at their dermatologist. We just were talking about skin exams, so it's also, I mean, it's the perfect pairing. The campaign existed, and I've been saying make sun safety sexy for a while now. So it's like, I feel like this was the sexiest way we could make it sexy, is
Hmm.
doing this Get Naked campaign. And so yeah, it's the foundation's annual cutaneous melanoma awareness campaign. They run it in out of home ads, digital, etc. So they pick an annual spokesperson. 2 years ago they had Teddy Mellencamp. Last year they had Raheem Mostert, who's like plays for the Dolphins. And then the foundation approached me end of like mid end of last year about being this year's spokesperson. So I've known for basically like 6 months before the shoot, which was
Mm,
good because it ended up being a very empowering experience. I had a lot of fun doing it, but it took a lot of mental prep. I'm like, okay, I'm doing a nude photo shoot. Obviously, as you
yeah.
saw in the photos, like they're not showing anything
Right.
graphic that would be pornographic and not be,
Untoward. Yeah.
yeah, not able to be used for advertising. Um, but it's suggestive, it's nude, it's black and white, and it's meant to just also, beyond the phrase "get naked," it's the imagery itself is meant to catch people's eye and kind of have them stop and be like, "What is this?" And all the messaging around the release then is just about people doing monthly self exams and going to their derm every year and being sun safe. So yeah, it came out May 1, so it's been out for just over a month,
Yeah.
and I can get a bit obsessive whenever I get on a project. So since we did have some lead time with my team, I have managers and some other agency partners. I've kind of spent half my time, frankly, over the last 6 months, like working on something related to the campaign. We, so it came out, we did press, and then I'm friends with Rachel at Glowbar, so we like aligned Glowbar with the foundation, and I've been doing some content and promotions with Glowbar, just to also have all their estheticians at their and now 20 locations promoting sun safety to all their clients. And um, we did one. I'm co-chairing the gala for the foundation now in the fall, and one of my committee members I brought on, she helped orchestrate a shopping event at Versace. So we tried to,
Mm,
do this whole like fashion angle too of, this is how we're making sun safety sexy and getting naked sexy. And they kind of like made all the messaging like get dressed up in Versace, but and then go get naked at your derm. That's like the one thing I kept saying. So we had a fundraiser with Versace and a bunch of other things. I did I did a satellite media tour centered around the campaign as well. So let's see, in May I did 31 TV and radio interviews around it. So like
Oh my God.
it was my busiest month ever.
In
It
your
was so
life, right? Like,
oh yeah,
yeah,
ever. Like but like I was preparing for it, and the months leading up was just all the like pre-planning and strategy and whatnot. So I'm happy to hear you said it's been everywhere, because that was the intention, and I'm
yeah.
hoping we keep it going, because I'm the spokesperson for a year, so people are gonna have to see these
A
nudes
year. Oh my,
for
the
another.
whole
I'm
year.
I'm pimping those photos for another 11 months. Like
Oh my
they're
God.
I'm definitely like not letting up. Like I'm gonna, September I'm gonna post another. There's some that I haven't posted yet.
Mm,
So I've been saving a few. I'm gonna post some other options later, just to remind people also to be sun safe in the fall and
yeah.
winter.
It's really been all consuming, and it's funny because going to ask you how you balance, like, your work in aesthetics as an esthetician with, your advocacy and, your product evaluation and your work in your, as a content creator in your socials, like,
Yeah.
but this seems to be like kind of the focus right now. Are you still seeing clients in your, as an esthetician, or is there just no time for that?
I mean, April was like a lot of prep work. I don't know. I
Right.
actually don't know. I don't know how much I did outside of the campaign in April.
Right.
I will see clients. I just do private clients,
Mhm.
and then I still very much am uh, like very much in the content space. Social media, and then like I have the podcast with Dr. Love, so we've been like working on more content there.
Yeah.
But this campaign really has eaten up probably like half my time the last like 4 months. But I also have support. I've been in doing this content thing for, I mean, almost 14 years, which is really crazy to say. Like from fashion
Yeah.
blogger to beauty to like skin to
Yeah.
esthetician to now like sun safety advocate. And so I've had management for a while, and I've been with the same management agency now the last almost 5 years, and have other partners. So online and everywhere it looks like I'm just like doing like a bajillion things, and that's great, but I do have some amazing support to make it all happen. It's not just me over here, so that's comforting.
Yeah. And then there's the judging piece of it. And, I
Oh
share
my
I share
god,
that. I share that. Yeah. It's like,
that
but so let's talk
that
about that a little bit. Like,
that
you
was
saw
crazy.
everything I saw and more because you were involved, with the CEW Beauty Awards. So like, you're literally on the front lines of product innovation. Like, what trends or, specific products are exciting you right now?
I feel like we both said this somewhere or mentioned it. Everyone's talking exosomes, and I'm seeing
Mm,
that released in like a lot more products and people going down that path.
yeah.
um I mean, I definitely saw a lot of things that didn't get a high rating. Um,
We're not going to name names, but I'm with you on that. Like, I
I
don't
I've
even
been
think I can give this a score.
I you know oh, this I remember. I feel like from Future 50, I did a video, and then you shared it or sent me a message, and I made the comment about clinicals, and
Yes.
I think we're very on the same page there.
Yeah.
I mean, these awards, it's kind of the positioning is like the innovation, and frankly,
Mm,
I feel like it's hard for a brand to really like show like, oh, like this is our true innovation in terms of what their ingredient they're using, or the results. So I'm always like, who's submitting clinicals with these, and really putting proof behind the claim.
yeah.
So, but obviously, like anything sunscreen, I get excited for. I love like
Yeah.
the new releases. I'm trying to. I guess we're not saying names. I'm trying to think back though
No, we
too.
can talk
So
about specific products. I just don't want to slag anybody.
yeah, yeah. I'm trying
But
to think back from any new sunscreens though from the testing. I'm kind of drawing a blank.
I have two here. This one, I'm obsessed with,
Oh, that one. Yeah. Ultraviolet.
right? For the
I feel like
ultraviolet future screen SPF 50 mineral sunscreen.
that's nice. I have a few of their other ones, so I'm kind of was like, this is the other issue. I'm sure
Mhm.
you also get other products sent to you, so it's like in my brain now, I'm like, wait, which ones were the submissions from the
Oh
awards we
yeah.
just did?
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
what are just other things that have shown up?
Yeah.
But yeah, Ultraviolet, I really like. I've been liking their products a lot too, and they have like the nice
Mhm.
lip SPF.
Yeah.
And then this wasn't in the submission, but I'd recently got it and it newly launched, friends with Ron Robinson, and he came out with his vitamin C lip SPF for Beauty
Mhm.
Stat, which has been
Yeah.
really nice. I like that product a lot.
Nice.
Um, oh, let me think of what else is really good and hot in my every time I get this question, I try to picture what's on my bathroom counter at the moment. It's a lot of things. It's a lot. It's looking a little crazy over there. I need to clean it. But
Yeah.
I mean, I work with them, but it's like not a secret or anything. Like Elta MD, I use a lot of their sunscreens. They have their new green. Oh, that
I
those are the
just
two.
happen to have it at the ready.
Those are the
Yeah.
two. Those are the two you have. Yeah,
Yes.
the red color correcting one. I've really been liking a lot.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and what other products? This isn't sunscreen or skincare. It's like Lumine, like Lumene. They have like a
Mhm.
CC cream.
Okay.
I don't really wear much makeup, but I'll put a little here, a little there. So I use their like CC cream just if I want like a little color coverage,
Mhm.
which is nice. And what else? What else am I? What else am I having on my counter right now?
I mean,
What
there were a
about you?
lot of peptide products.
Oh, that's true too. Exosomes and peptides. I feel like
Yeah.
that's the focus
There was
for.
that one that I absolutely loved. I don't remember if it was supported by clinicals. I think it was Oak Essentials with P peptides or
Mm,
I love that product. I love that product. And the Allies of Skin I also love. The copper peptide serum.
yeah, yeah. They.
Really great textures, like
I'm.
peptides, like I don't know, like exosomes, like all of these things, like antioxidants. I really truly believe in, like, and I don't need clinicals behind antioxidants, right? Like, I don't need
Mhm.
clinicals behind sunscreen. Just if it's tested and evaluated and it's cleared, we're good.
Yeah, yeah.
But I incorporate peptides into my nightly routine. Um, but it's just like I don't know, like I'm not wedded to needing to see immediate results. Like to
Mm,
me, like the health of your skin is a like a daily thing, and over
yeah.
time you see results. Like I don't need instant gratification, so I'm okay with all these peptide serums.
Yeah, I mean that's something I talk about with people that ask clients, followers is like, this we're talking skin health and
Hmm.
it's a long game and longevity and it's an everyday thing and patience is something you have to have too. I think regardless of what product we're talking about, like reminding people that I'm sorry, but there's no serum you're going to put on and your face is
Yeah,
going to look different tomorrow. And if it
yeah,
does, it's like a temporary effect thing. And like, that's more makeup, you know? Um, so I think, but that is also too, I think why seeing clinicals on products is so important because there's some wild claims sometimes with a,
yeah.
cream serum. And it's like, okay, but I don't know if I believe that.
Yeah, there's a lot of marketing spin. You can't just say anything you want to say. But, and then there's like small niche independent brands that don't have that concept. And, they're like, marketing's marketing. I need to say what I need to say to make this product enticing and to sell. But, and I think that's it's so problematic for the consumer because they don't know what to believe, and
Mhm.
they want to believe, like customers want to believe, and that's why those consumer perception studies are always phenomenal, right? Like 98% of
Ugh,
people said like their skin looked hydrated, and I always
totally.
say And
Oh,
I
it looks
get,
hydrated. Great.
right, like
Great.
you can make your skin look hydrated with Jello. Like
I
it may be a
know.
little sticky, but you'll look hydrated. So, it's just like it's fun. Like I have fun. I love my work. I love my day job. I love all the rest of it, but come on, get real.
And for consumer perception, it's like I want to know what consumer did you fool and what did they look like? Were they even putting moisturizer on their skin before you had them to or were they doing nothing? So
They hadn't
anything
used
you,
anything. Don't use anything for 2 weeks and then
yeah,
start using this product and tell us
totally,
what it looks like.
totally. That's
Right?
yeah.
Oh my god. Um, so, whether it's through your work as an esthetician, in your content or, as an advocate for daily sun safety awareness, like where do you see yourself going from here? Because you're like at a nadir, like in terms of your work, and you talked about April and how intense that was. Like, what do you want to do next?
Well, I don't know if this is too early to share it, but I feel like I'm very comfortable, so I'm just
Hmm.
gonna give a umbrella. I'm working on the new venture that's coming out in September.
Okay.
Um, I love, uh, as we said, like I love the skin health space, the media space with content, education, whether that's a social video or doing podcasts, with amazing like-minded individuals like yourself or my, more regular podcast with Elise, Dr.
Hmm.
Love.
Yep.
Um, and I feel like over the years too, I've had an affinity for events and fun. And I'm talking about making sun safety. How do you make sun safety fun and sexy? And, I love this intersection of education, entertainment, being fun, but still like having that serious lens. So I'm working on this beauty membership that will be like basically like an annual subscription, kind of like if you were joining a private member club or had like Amex credit card perks,
Mm.
for beauty in a sense. So it's a little early to share all the details, but in terms of what's next, that's something I've been working on actually for about 2 years. It's been like in concept mode. And then
Oh wow.
last summer I had my like, 2 years ago it was just an idea and then it like morphed. And then last summer I had it kind of pieced together and I had two people helping with me. They're both still helping, but the one, my friend Tony, who we've done a bunch of events together over the years, like anytime I've had like a big, event that shows up on Instagram or whatnot, she's been helping me produce them for the last 4 years.
Hmm.
And so we're partnering on this. We work really well together. And there's going to be like multiple layers to the membership, but we're going to have like member exclusive events. There's going to be a quarterly shipment, very curated though, like super small curation of a few products for the member. Um, and it's beauty and like well living, so
Mm.
it's skin forward and a lot of the content is skin, but then there's other layers of beauty which match my interest too, of how I said earlier, like hair, makeup, etc. So and it's for basically any like beauty enthusiast who also wants like a bit of guidance. I think that's, we're sitting here talking to about, oh my gosh, we both just went through and tested a bajillion products. We read a bajillion like submissions. And that's not just that's like the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more that wasn't in these awards that was released
Yeah.
this past
Yeah.
year that, consumers are continually flooded with. And I think it can get a bit, I mean, even for us, like I'm here, like I don't even remember what I tested. I need to go look at the report because it can be so overwhelming, and we live and breathe it every day.
Yeah.
So kind of like pulling back and thinking of someone that's not in the industry, it's like beyond confusing, and I get that feedback all the time. So basically, the membership's hopefully going to be like a form of a solution for members too, in terms of not feeling as confused as I think a lot of people are.
That's great. We'll come back on the podcast in September and let's talk about it.
I would love to. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
How
kind of a
exciting.
behemoth idea, so we're still finessing some of the like, you know, the main copy in a sense of how to articulate the concept in the best way without confusing someone. But
Yeah.
I think I did a good job at just giving the umbrella. But there's other layers to the membership that yeah, we'll definitely share in September.
Awesome. All right, before we wrap up, let's do just like a quick lightning round. I'm just going to shoot things at you. Tell me the first thing that comes to mind. All right?
Okay. Okay.
First skincare product you ever fell in love with or that had a lasting effect on you?
Oh wow. I used to, oh shoot, was it Garnier had this like eye roller. Um I mean I don't even remember what it's called, but it was like this was when I was in my I used to always go to like Walgreens and be like, "Oh, what's here?" and like buy
Hilarious. Yeah.
Neutrogena.
Mm-hmm.
Um so like I would get like this little eye roller and I just like thought it felt so cool. Like I wasn't thinking like, "Oh, I need an eye serum," but it was just like, "Oh, like it feels good." I mean, this was when I was probably like 10 or something.
Right.
And not skincare, but like more of a makeup. Neutrogena used to have this product called Clean Lash,
I
and
remember.
I've always liked having like open looking eyes. I've
Mm,
been told I've have like decently long eyelashes, since I was younger, and so I never wanted to like look like I had like mascara on. But Clean Lash was a very thin formula with like a small applicator, and so I would use that. I think kind of like in like seventh, eighth grade, I would again a Walgreens purchase, but
yeah.
I a few years ago to one of the marketing people at agency people that works with Neutrogena. I was like, can we have a petition? I'd really like that product to come back. So if anyone from Neutrogena is listening, I'm curious. I'm curious one if I would still love it as much as I did because it's been
Totally like watching
years.
a movie that you loved growing up and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh god, what did I see in this?"
And if I do still love it, I'm like I want it to come back. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that was the first product you fell in love with. What's the last product you fell in love with? Like the most recent?
Oh, I'm using this body serum and
Mm.
I'm gonna butcher the name. It's red packaging. It's like Tronique or something. It's like
Yes, I
TR.
know. We
How do you
judged
say
it.
that brand?
I
Yeah, I think
trunk trunk trunk. I
yeah,
know
I
what you
don't
mean.
this product. I don't think this wasn't in the judging curation, but it was like from the brand, and it's
Okay.
it's in a taller like
Mm-hmm.
pump squeeze, and it's like their body milk serum. I've been using that lately, and it's quite lovely.
Isn't that funny? Like I know what you go through too, but like you try like so many things, but then there's just like one product that you like can't get
Totally,
enough of, and you start to run out of it, and you're like, oh my god, like
totally,
that Oak Essentials peptide serum. I'm like, I love putting that on at night. I don't even know if it does anything. I love it, but so I get it. Like
yeah,
it's emotional. Beauty is emotional.
absolutely.
All right. SPF of choice: lotion, spray, or stick.
Lotion.
Okay. SPF in the immediate eye area, yes or no?
Oh, like just around. Yeah, I do it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I told you before we started recording that I had my last guest last week was Dr. Jen Haley. She's a
Hmm.
friend of mine and a dermatologist, and we were talking about what she sees in her patients. And she said, like where I see the most sun damage and even skin cancers is in the inner tear duct inside the eye
Mm,
area and behind the ears. Like these are,
hmm.
and she said, especially in men,
Yep.
because men don't have longer hair and they're just not putting sunscreen behind their ears. And I think I don't remember if one or the other, but the skin behind the ears and the skin around your eyes is the thinnest of anywhere on your whole body.
Yeah.
And those are the two places that we neglect the most. All right, next, your favorite self care ritual that has nothing to do with skincare.
God, I have a lot of things I like to do for self care, so that's tough. But I would say lately I've been going to one of those like fast massage places down the
Mm,
street where you can do like an hour foot massage. And so every weekend I've been trying to go do an hour like foot leg massage, walk a lot in the city. I love
mhm.
walking. And I think it's really easy to ignore how much tension we hold in our feet.
Yeah, yeah.
So I've been trying to prioritize. like a weekly foot massage just to be a little treat on the weekends.
Cool. Next, worst skincare trend you wish would disappear forever.
Dang. I mean, probably the DIY sunscreen is just like really bad.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Yes. We can leave it at
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Horrible. Yeah. DIY sunscreen. It's insane. If you could design one dream skincare product, what would it be?
I mean, it'd be amazing if like someone can really make a sunscreen that stays on the skin for an extended period of time, but
Mm,
like kind of like like still probably have to reapply it, but some sort of sunscreen that really like can, if someone put it on in the morning, like they're going to be set. Because the whole reapplication thing, obviously I promote it, but it's very hard to get people to do that. So
yeah.
no one's getting the protection they think they're getting. So something that improves the longevity of the product, so it could provide protection longer.
That's such a great idea.
So, but that was a wish list. I was like, I can
Yeah.
make it.
I
It's a
love
make
that.
it
You
up.
can make it
Yeah.
happen. Make it happen, Ian. All right, last, describe your skin in 3 words today, right now.
Today, it's a little dry. I think I was up a little late last night,
Mm-hmm.
and slapped some moisturizer on before bed, but didn't do like my normal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Overall, other than that, yeah, I mean, glowy still though. It's looking the.
You're glowy. For
I
those
think that's
people
good.
who aren't seeing us, yeah.
I think that's because I have a light on my computer that's like giving a little illumination. Um, and healthy. You know, I just had my skin checked about 2 weeks ago ish. No, I guess it's been a month. I did it my annual skin exam and
Mm-hmm.
got a clear grade. So I'm just gonna go with it's healthy too.
All right, awesome. Well, this has been incredible, like I suspected it would be.
Oh, thank you,
Great
Carmine.
conversation. Thanks for the insights. Thank you for your work in sun care advocacy. Keep going.
I appreciate it, Carmine. Thank you so much. I've loved the conversation too.
All right, Ian. Ciao.
See you soon.
Wasn't that cool? I knew it would be. Oh my God. He's so insightful and I love his sun care advocacy. Just, it is exceptional and he's doing stuff that nobody else is doing. So check him out. I will drop his social handles into the show notes. I'll drop the link to his podcast in the show notes, and I'll drop links to the Melanoma Research Foundation and the Get Naked campaign in the show notes. All right. Thank you for listening to the Skincarma Pod. Find more insights, real talk, and reviews of my favorite skincare products on the Skincarma blog at skincarma.com. And if you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, please rate and review this episode. It helps me to reach more listeners. Ciao.